So the United States has denied entry to their country of the Somali referee Omar Abdulkadir uh, Artan, one of CAF's top officials. He was actually named CAF Referee of the Year in 2025, and he is a top official. And his selection wasn't just ordinary. Obviously, CAF said that the selection was thorough, that they gave their very best. And FIFA itself, in announcing the 58 referees for this World Cup, said that the selection was based on 3 years of work. So clearly, his competence as a referee has never been in doubt. However, he has now been denied entry to the United States and returned to Turkey. He arrived at Miami airport on Saturday, and he was turned away to go back to Istanbul, where he came from. Now, what we know is that his Saturday arrival was already late because all the FIFA officials are going through a 9-day seminar in Miami ahead of the start of the World Cup. That seminar actually started on the 31st of May and would run till the 9th of May, which is today. And so he arriving on Saturday, he was already late. And the reason he was late was that he initially had issues securing a visa to come to the United States. Then CAF released a statement to say that all his visa issues had been resolved. And the reason they said that was because he had been issued a diplomatic passport in Nairobi to aid with his travel to the United States because it was so difficult for him to secure a visa. Thanks partly to the fact that Somalia is part of the 39 countries that are on a travel ban by the United States of America. So it was always difficult for him to get a visa. So they gave him a diplomatic passport, which should ordinarily ease your travel. So, airlines allowed him to board. He got to Miami, and he was separated for additional checks, if you like, additional scrutiny. And it was determined that, they would not allow him in. Obviously, US authorities have insisted that what they did was the right decision. The US Border Customs and Border Control has said in a statement that that the decision taken there was the right decision and that they would not change that decision whatsoever. FIFA has also released a statement to confirm that this has indeed happened, and then they went on to say that the right to admit and grant people access to another country is the sovereign right of every single host country. And that contravenes sharply with a lot of the rhetoric from the FIFA president in the build up to the bidding process, and also a few months ago about the World Cup itself, where he says every single person that is hosting a FIFA World Cup cannot deny anyone, that no country can deny anyone that has qualified for the World Cup, officials that have qualified for the World Cup, or anybody or fans that are coming to the World Cup. But we know that those words have not exactly reflected the reality, because we've seen that Iran had a lot of officials refuse visas, and we know that they also cannot stay in the United States now because they have to live in Mexico and do same-day trips to the US to play their matches and come back to Mexico. We've seen images of Senegalese players, Uzbekistani players being strip searched in manners that make you wonder whether they're fully aware who these individuals are, and whether there is a certain dignity attached to all these processes. We know that Artan was set to become the first Somali official ever to referee at the FIFA World Cup, and this is crushing news to someone that has worked really hard, supremely hard over the years to get to this point. And he's not just going to the World Cup as some sort of a token. He is CAF's best referee as it stands now. So the entire African continent's best official will not be at the World Cup because of this very issue of restrictions and sovereign countries making unilateral decisions that adversely affect individuals in certain countries and players and officials at the FIFA World Cup. And it just raises a bigger question, because when you sign the host city agreement, these are some of the waivers that you need to make: the ability or the willingness to let everybody in that has something to do at the World Cup. This is not just an ordinary fan. This is an official. That wasn't just handpicked on a whim. This is somebody that was scrutinized. And there's a process that led to that, because they submitted the list to FIFA, and FIFA vetted the list and then cut down on the list. And so there was a whole process. And Artan's name has been part of that list all this while. Not once did it come up that from the US authorities, the local organizing committee, for them to say, this official that is from Somalia, we think that there could be an issue with his travel. Maybe do a pre-vetting to determine whether or not he was even eligible to travel in the first place. None of that was done. They waited. They finalized the entire list. They bought tickets, everything, and only for him to even arrive in the United States and to be turned away. I think this is just really, really unfortunate, because this is the World Cup. It's global in nature. We need to give people access, people especially who have worked hard over the years with this dream, because for every referee, the biggest dream of every referee is to referee at the FIFA World Cup. And to get there, it requires a lot of hard work. So imagine getting here and your dream is crushed, not because of any sort of incompetence attributed to you, but simply because of who you are, simply because of your nationality. I personally don't think that is fair. I think there probably was a point in this whole process where they could have been informed that his admission would be a problem to the United States. I mean, there are ways of knowing, so that people don't put in all these efforts to get to this point only to be turned away. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, FIFA handed out the rights. The United States also have to do what they have to do and believe they have to do for the security of their country. And as unfortunate as it is, it's really difficult to see any other way around it. But my wish is that we never had to deal with these issues. Unfortunately, this is where we are. And for someone that had nurtured a dream for all these years, and for all the young kids that would have looked to him in Somalia and believed that they too could reach the highest stage if they took up refereeing, I think, what do you think all those people would be thinking right now? So it's several dreams crashed, because there will be children in Somalia that would change career paths as a result of what has happened to Artan, because they would believe that no matter how hard they work, no matter how hard they work, how far they go, their nationality, who they are, would always turn out to be the biggest advantage. And that should never be the case under any jurisdiction.